Welcome back to ICT on Air. I'm your host, Alex, and today we are answering a question that I have always wondered about. You type google.com into your browser, press enter, and within 1 second, the page loads. But how does your computer actually find Google's website? To help us understand this invisible process, we have our favorite tech expert, Dr. Tech. Dr. Tech, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Alice. The answer is a system called DNS, which stands for the Domain Name Systems. This system works behind scenes every single time when you visit a website, and without it, the network would not be completely impossible to use.
So, Dr. Tech, can you explain what DNS actually does in plain English?
Of course, the best ways to understand DNS is to think of it as a internet phone book. Think about your mobile phone. You do not memorize all your friends' 10 digital phone numbers, do you? You just simply save their name like Hashid or John in their contacts. And whenever you want to call her, your phone will directly show the numbers for you. And the computers is work in the same way, but they are even worse at memorizing their names than we are. Computers only understand numbers, and on the internet, every device has a unique address called an IP address. For example, Google main servers may have an IP address like 142.250.190.46.
That looks like a nightmare to type. No wonder we prefer to use words like google.com instead.
Exactly. Humans are great with words but terrible with non-numbers, while computers are completely opposite. They love numbers but do not care about words at all. So we needed a translator, and that translator is DNS. When you type google.com, which we call a domain name, your computer doesn't know where that is. So it has a DNS service, which is basically the internet phone book operators. What is the IP address for google.com? The DNS service looks up in its libraries and replies with the correct numbers. Your computer then uses that numbers to connect to the Google servers and load the website.
So DNS turns human-friendly names into computer-friendly numbers. That sounds so simple, but wait, there are millions of websites out there. How does one phone book hold all that information?
That is a fantastic question, and it shows why DNS is so clever. DNS is not a single giant phone book sitting in a room somewhere. It is actually a distributed global network with a clear instructions. Think of it like a huge library systems. If your local libraries does not have a book you want, they ask the region libraries and find if that libraries does not have it. They ask the national libraries. DNS work in the same way. Your computers first ask the local DNS resolvers, which is usually provided by your internet server provider. If the resolvers does not know the answers, they ask the root servers, which are the very top of their libraries, and it's as the top level domain servers, which manage the extensions like .com, .hk. Finally, it reach the servers for that specialized websites, which give the final IP address, and this whole process happens in just milliseconds.
Okay, so DNS is the translator. But what happens if that translator breaks or goes offline? Does the whole internet stop working?
That is an excellent question, and it leads directly to the biggest mistake students make in exams. If the DNS service goes down or a computer cannot reach it, you may type youtube.com perfectly in your browsers, but your screen will show a service not found or DNS servers do not respond errors. The important things to understand is that the website itself is not broken. Your computers just cannot find the phone numbers to call. The website is still running perfectly fine in its.
So the problem is not the website, it's just the translation service that is failing?
Exactly. And this brings me to the exam trap that examiners love to test. Students often confuse DNS with IP address, but they are completely different things. Remember these rules. DNS is the phone book, and the IP address are the phone numbers. Never mix them up.
Wow, so if my friend texts me Google's IP address, I can still get there even during a DNS outage?
Yes, absolutely. And that is why examiners love to test these scenarios. They want to see if you truly understand what DNS does versus what the internet connections itself does. Being able to explain these differences is what separates top students from the rest.
Dr. Tech, before we wrap up, let's test our listeners with some exam-style questions.
I have three questions, one multiple choice and two short answers. I won't give you the answers. You must find them yourself by rewatching this broadcast.
Tough questions? Go to the pinned comment, write your answers, and for each answer, try to use the timestamp to help you find the clue.
Good luck. The clues are all in today's broadcast. Bye for now.